What if the reason a killer was never caught wasn't because they were smarter than the police, but because science hadn't caught up yet? For decades, some of the most terrifying crimes in history remained unsolved. Not forgotten, just waiting. You're watching Casefile Commentary TV, where we break down the cases history couldn't solve and the science now rewriting them. If you're drawn to real investigations, cold cases, and criminal psychology, like this video and subscribe. A cold case isn't just an unsolved crime. It's a case where leads run out, witnesses disappear, and evidence grows old. In the 1960s, 70s, and even the 80s, investigators worked with limited tools: fingerprints, blood type analysis, eyewitness testimony, confessions. There was no DNA profiling, no digital databases, no surveillance cameras on every corner. That's why infamous cases like the Zodiac Killer, the Black Dahlia, and JonBenet Ramsey stalled. Evidence was collected, but investigators didn't yet know how to unlock it. Boxes were sealed, files were shelved, and families were left with questions that lasted decades. Everything began to change in the late 1990s. DNA profiling entered criminal investigations, and suddenly evidence could speak louder than witnesses. A single drop of blood, a strand of hair, skin cells left behind during the struggle. But the real revolution came in the 2010s with genetic genealogy. Instead of matching DNA to criminals already in databases, investigators began comparing crime scene DNA to public ancestry records. In 2018, this method led to the arrest of Joseph James DeAngelo, the Golden State Killer, nearly 40 years after his crimes. One of America's most notorious cold cases was no longer cold. Today, experts believe many famous cold cases are still solvable. Cases like the Zodiac Killer, the Long Island serial killer's early victims, the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Why? Because evidence collected decades ago, once thought useless, can now be reanalyzed. That fingerprint, that cigarette butt, that degraded DNA sample, modern science can hear what it's been trying to say all along. Modern forensics now includes DNA phenotyping to predict a suspect's appearance, AI-assisted facial reconstruction, advanced digital crime scene modeling, and massive genealogy and fingerprint databases. Time, once a criminal's greatest ally, is now their enemy. Cold cases don't expire, and neither does evidence. Across the world, cold cases are being reopened, and justice is finally catching up. The question is no longer if these cases will be solved, but when. If you want more deep-dive true crime stories, forensic breakthroughs, and unsolved mysteries, subscribe to Casefile Commentary TV, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. Because some cases aren't forgotten, they're just waiting.